Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'd like to talk about how much do you really need to spend for creating a good, decent home cinema setup for your usage. And do you really need to spend a lot of money to create a good setup? Basically, my answer to higher end budget, you don't have to spend extreme budgets to create a good setup for you. It is also depending on your needs, but I want to keep this video as sincere as possible, like I am sitting next to you in the same room with a different couch maybe, but talking to you directly and sharing my 20 years of experience in IT business. I made overclocked PCs, water-cooled and custom-cooled setups like chemicals and extreme performance for PC gaming and consoles over the years, but my hobby was always about creating a home cinema setup for different family members or friends when they ask me to create a Dolby Digital audio with a four-way different speakers and amplifiers. What do we need? How much do we have to spend? It was always the need of people just want to spend money and create expensive setups, but do we really need them? But basically, when it comes down to the projection and home cinema setup, I believe you can get away with the quite cheap and also mid-range level of money, which I will come in a minute. I want to keep this video short, but also informational. But it's also depend on your needs. First budget I would like to talk about is $100 and $150 only for the projector. And in that case, I will be first talking about the first-hand market, like you're going to purchase brand new. And later in the video, I'll try to talk just a little bit about the second-hand market because it's something way different than the buying brand new. First projector kind is the LED models, which I reviewed in the channel, earlier in the channel, like a Wambu or many LED projectors out there, and the quantities are increasing. LG, BenQ, Xiaomi, many brands out there. So they produce LED with 20,000, 30,000 hours of LED life, long-term usable projectors. And starting from $100 to $150, you can get a Wambu style or similar projector. And you will have like 250 NC lumen to 400, 500 NC lumens of power. And this power will get you in a dark room quite a decent, good image. Especially models that have with a good glass, they will produce sharp images. The only thing that you'll be lacking will be the contrast and the brightness level they have when you open up some lights, like in this video. But you can get away with darkening the room or buying a cheapest ALR screen, which I've made a tutorial, 3-video tutorial series with a $25. So starting point of the projector is $100 to $150. Less than $100 there are projectors out there, but I don't tend to recommend them if you want to go too budget, like if you're a student, if you're on the go, if you might be hurting the product while using on a camping site, then you don't want to spend too much budget, or you don't want to go too big. Maybe 720p will be enough for you in the camping zone. Then you might be thinking going lower than the $100 range, but definitely if you're going to Full HD and above, $100, $150 range will get you going with the good image quality that you can live for a long time. So even though I use 4K projectors or professional projectors, I've used Wambu for a couple of weeks and I was quite happy with the result and the sharpness. I use it with a daily basis. I connect it to the console and use it as well. So I really told myself, like, do we really need expensive stuff? So if we darken the room, we can get away with it, really. So you will be seeing those reviews at the bottom of this video or around somewhere. And the tutorial, don't forget to watch my tutorials with different screens, different walls, different paints. I'll try to add tutorials along the way as the purpose of the channel. So the second thing that we need to have for our setup is the sound solution, because many of the projectors have at least LED models with $100, $150. They have like 3 or 5 to mostly up top 10 watts of power output. 10 watt is a good watt, by the way, but many of them does not have 10 watts for those price ranges. So you have to find yourself a decent speaker, or you have to find a solution like I showed you with my earlier videos, a Bluetooth receiver, and using your earbuds to that receiver, or using a console gamepad to connect the audio, which I created a separate audio video that how you can solve these issues. But basically, if you have an earbud, you can use a Bluetooth connector around $20. I'll try to create different videos for all these items, and also, like I told you, you'll be finding my audio solutions, my personal listening, because when my kids are in sleep right now, because this is a late at night video, I tend to have to use like my earbuds or my headphones because I don't want to wake them up. So I just use it in single person perspective. Like if you have to use your projector and watch the movies together, then you have to have a solution of Bluetooth speakers, some sort of. So those Bluetooth speakers depends on your budget, of course, but I recommend at least 30 watts of RMS power output, which will get you probably around $30 to $50 range. And if you go around $50, I recommend at least one of my videos. I reviewed Lenovo Leco, which I purchased myself. I was quite happy. It was around, I believe, 50-60 watts. Right now, I don't remember maybe the RMS value, but it has a good bass and it is looking like a JBL speakers, but quite cheaper, and the quality is very close to the JBL style. So you can get away with it. It's stronger than many TVs, and it will get you where you need. If you have a room around 30 meters, you will definitely have enough audio output. You can also have option to use them on the go because they are Bluetooth speakers with the batteries. So where you get is $150 from Projector, and if you add up the receiver from audio to $20, you'll get $120 to $170. And if you include the $50 range, that's just numbers in a round way. So you get from $170 to $220 range, and you sold your projection with the smart Android inside, new generation LED model, and you solved your audio for your earbuds, but even though you have cableless like Bluetooth setup, and you solved also problem of having a good audio with lot of people with the 50 watt range of Bluetooth speaker. You can also give up some of these, and if you add one more thing to this setup, that will be $25 range, cheapest ALR screen, which I reviewed earlier in the channel. I reviewed and I made 3 different tutorials for $25 cheapest ALR screen, which restricts some of the angle of your projection, but also restricts the lights that come from above, and you can have the option to use in a lit room like not like a TV, but a quite good projector, even though you don't have too much of a power output. Just don't forget to watch those tutorials. This might be the cheapest way that you can get away with. So we are in a range of $250 with the screen. So we nearly solved all the problems. Right now we have a good amount of power, or at least the sharpness, and we can use the projector in a dimly lit room, and you'll be happy with the result. But what do you need more? You could need more power output, because some lights needs to be open sometimes. If you have kids, if you want to use it as a TV for daily basis, and if you want more power output because your eyes used to the TV brightness, then you might want to go to the second level of $250 to $500 range of projectors. And also the expenses are same for Bluetooth speaker and Bluetooth receiver as well. But some of the projectors might not have fully Android support. Then you might need to at least add a dongle to it, or some sort of adapter to use with your phone. If you have an Android or iOS phone, then you might have to spend some $20 to $40 for connecting your phone to your projector as a smart device and adapter, or a dongle like I do, Realme 4K dongle, next generation dongle, which I play these 4K YouTube videos. So that way you're going to be spending another $50 range of price depending on the dongle you choose, the box you choose, of course. The one other thing you might add to this is TV solution, TV satellite box, which will cost you depending on your choice and the region that you have. And if you want to go above, then you might want to complete the setup with 3000 ANSI lumens of power, at least above to 2500, 3000 levels, and then above, and also have a good throw ratio projector. This is the Epson TW650. This is not an extreme projector, and it is still creating a pretty much good image from Full HD with 3 LCD technology. So I am quite happy with it. I am using, right now I have 4K projector over there. I don't have ALR screen. This is an ultra short throw. I need a screen and it will come shortly. I believe I will review it on the channel. So I can use this setup as a TV as well because I have TV unit. So this next setup will get you around 1000 ANSI lumens. The third setup, you're going to be spending around, depending on going 4K or Full HD, if you're going to go for bright projectors, then you'll be spending around $600 to $700 range, or maybe even $800 to $900, going for closing $1,000 range of projectors. And some of them have better contrast, some of them have better colors like 3 LCD technology, some of them will give you better refresh rate for gaming like my Optoma UHD 35. Even though picture colors and contrast might not be perfect, the reason that my Optoma choice was the Xbox One X and my Series X will about to come. So if you're going to use a console gaming, competitive gaming, connecting your laptop to it or a PC to it, then you might want to think about the also refresh rate and the response time. But increasing the cash flow over the $500 range to $1,000 range, you're going to get a lot of features. But if you're not going to use them, you don't have to spend that. So if you're going to use, just like me, for a casual gamer, platform games, some of racing games, then response time of 20 could get you out of quite good a lot of situations. But if you're going to use something like my Xiaomi 4K over there, then you might want to think again, because it's a 4K projector, but the response time is, I will be reviewing later on, but when we played FIFA from Xbox Series X, the grass was gone because of the fast-paced movement. Players were quite acceptable at least, but grass was just blurred. So some things cannot be accepted, but watching movie, watching content, and general gameplay, casual gameplay, it could be, but it's not a console or PC, any kind of, but it's not a cheap product. So it will affect your choices. But do you really need to do that? Like, you can play your PlayStation 4, Xbox One Series, Xbox One X even, but if you're going to next-gen console, then you might want to spend the money, extra money. So the one thing is for sure, we don't all, not all of us have to spend a lot of money, and you can get away with $200 range of money. Like I said, $250 will get you the ALR screen, audio solutions that you need, and then a good projector, decent projector in entry level. So for above that, you might want to check out your checklist, what you want to do. Do you want to open the lights, or you can live your way through in a dark room? By the way, the room setup is also important. Like, if you're going to use the projector in a small room, this is a 30-35 square meter room. This is not a small room, by the way. So the screen size is 135. Even though right now I have video lights are open and some of the image is, because of this light, kind of washed out, and I have my backlit room, lights from the strip at the back of the TV unit, all I can say is this: if I close all these lights, 135 inch of huge image from 4 or 4.2 meters where I stand to the screen will light my face a lot, so I can see everything. So that's also about your choice of light. Do you really need a light in the room? Because if you're going to use the projector in a 10-meter room, and if you have a wide angle projector, then if you create 85-inch screen, then your room will be kind of like a half-lit room. You don't have to open another light. So you might want to consider also this. Right now, if I don't even open any light, I can see where I walk, and I can see my snacks, and I can see the remotes. The thing that I lack, if I close all the lights, if you don't have a lit, lighted remote, some of the buttons are difficult to see, so you have to you can solve this with a cheap solution like this. It's free, coming from the projector. So everything is a solution. So you just want to consider your budget and your needs. For me, for general people, probably $250 will get you what you need. One other thing is you have to decide, are you going to use it that much? Because some people, when I recommend projectors, they use them, and also I give them as a test device, like, please test the projector and then decide if you really want to use the projector setup. They say we got used to TVs and habits are difficult to break up. Yes, habits are always difficult to break up. For me, TV is kind of like dead. Actually, I'm keeping the TV behind of the screen for the purpose of this channel. And for my wife, when I said my wife, changing a woman's opinions or habits are difficult, I believe, than the man. So I'm not going to be against any race, but any kind of gender, but let's just talk about this. My wife also said the same thing. We don't need a TV anymore after seeing the 4K ultra short throw projector, because it's producing 4K from a quite short distance, 135 or 150 image, very bright. And also, if we include the TV satellite unit to that, we don't need a TV anymore. If we extra add the ALR screen, which is about to come to this channel, to the home, I hope soon. So if we use ALR screen, we can use it as a TV. We know it already. So if we take down the screen, we will get a huge image, 150 inch. And if we open up the 90 inch, probably range of screen, we will get a 90 inch TV on a lit room, quite lit room. So even my wife agrees, seeing and using projectors, you don't really need a TV, but habits are difficult to break. And if you're a pixel people, try to see different pixel around the corners and sharpness, then you might want to stay with the TV. But when you use a projector, and decent one, and create a good setup like I told you, you think, yes, I don't really need a TV anymore. And if you can bring your projector with a setup that I've made a thought process about this, and creating the screen setups, and also capturing the TV contrast level with just going forward with your projector. You definitely can catch the TV contrast level easy, and near sharpness level with a good projector easy. So if you haven't watched those videos, watch those videos and see how you can catch really with the full HD projector, even getting close to the 4K TV brightness and sharpness levels are quite interesting. I haven't had a clue before I tested it, but when I tested it, I realized that we really look at the things in a different way. We think when we go big and lose some of the sharpness, we think that that's the problem of the projector. No. If you can get close with the projector, you can get very close experience than the TV. But you cannot enlarge your TV, but going back, you can enlarge your screen anytime with your projector. And I made a special video about this. Don't forget to watch that video. Without spending any cash, you can watch 65-inch TV style image and turn your projector another long throw wall, like a distant wall. If that wall is also white, then you can create a huge screen and small screen in the same room. You just have to focus on your sitting position, changing that. That's it. So after all these things that I've told you, these are the concepts that I created videos over the time, and I probably hopefully create more videos. The only lacking thing is using a projector for daily and a couple of items that needs to be connected, like a TV receiver, Bluetooth dongle, sorry, the Android dongle, smart dongle. If you have a non-smart projector, you got a remote problem like this, okay? You're going to have to use a 3, 4, 5. This is for the screen, motorized screen, by the way. So you need to have some sort of solution for a lot of remotes, because it will just create a huge amount of mess and you want to check everything out. This is one of the products that came to me like an advice of an old friend. So he told me a couple of options that I have. This was the cheapest one, $15 range, I remember the price. And I will try to review this product later on. I haven't opened it, but it has LCD screens on. And it can, it says on it like a HD TV, DVB-T, IPTV, Blu-ray, iPod docks, and home cinema setup, PS2, Xbox 360. So if it works with a lot of stuff that I have, then I can get rid of the remote problem, but that will get you over another $20 to $50 range. But all these things that I told you can be both over time. Like you purchased first the projector, and then the accessories over time. So you don't have to hurry. This is like riding a motorcycle or buying your first car. If you're going to start your home cinema journey, you don't have to spend much. You just have to find out what you really need. After watching this video, and the videos that I created over time in this channel will help you to get there. So you don't have to spend too much of a money. You don't have to spend huge amount of money and buy a huge bike, racing bike, and then the first thing that you do is put your hand to the throttle and the bike goes and you fell behind. That's what's going to happen if you're going to pay a lot of money, that the specs that you're not going to be using. That is what I tried to tell you in this video. And in the end of the video, if I summarize all this, the one thing that I left was the second-hand market. I believe second-hand market is the best way, gold mine. But it depends to person to purchase a second-hand projector or second-hand TV. It's difficult to find trustworthy people these days, like in everywhere around the world. But if you find a good seller from eBay or Amazon or any kind of place that you can find second-hand, you might want to check that out, because most of the things, like riding a motorcycle, you want to increase the cc, or riding a car, you want to increase the size and the engine and the performance of it. Like over the time you got used to it, and then you go up. You got used to it and you go up. It's like upgrading your PC. It's like upgrading your console over a couple of years. One other thing is, people tend to buy with a hobby purpose, like many kind of hobbies. You buy a guitar, and then you decide you don't have the ability to play it, you don't have time to play it, or you don't have any kind of chance to play it, whatever. So you sell your musical instrument. It's like any hobby. So people came to one hobby with the enthusiasm, like an excitement, and then they buy a projector, and then later on they realize they watch a lot of the time TV and they don't use the projection because they don't have dedicated room, or they don't dedicate themselves to this setup process, because I believe it's easy process when you got used to the basics of it. So if they didn't choose the right projector for themselves, they might be selling it in the second-hand market half the price. When I say half the price, you can go even lower. So that way you can have 3,000 to 4,000, maybe even, like, let's just say 2,000 to 4,000 lumens of bulb kind of style full HD projector can easily be found around $150, $200 range. And that is a quite good brightness. And probably they have big lenses, like brands like Epson, ViewSonic, Optoma, and BenQ, known brands. And the other brands that I right now don't remember, these are the bulb brands. Like what I told you is not like LED style new generation brands, but generally known by their bulb classic style projectors over tens of years. So you can find those projectors quite cheap, because people tend to believe that they don't have time to use them, or they just upgraded their console, or some people just feel or think that they need 4K. Like I showed you in one video, do you really need a 4K video? Please watch that video. Do you really need a 4K projector? Because less than 100 inch, up to 100, you don't need a full HD in my opinion. But above the 100, if you got a, you don't need a 4K, less if you're limit of 100 or less than 100 inch. But if you go 100 inch, like 135 here, you can get away with it. But if you got 4K, you know the difference. So once you know the difference, you don't want to get back to the full HD, but I'm quite okay with it and I'm using it. There are tricks to get away, but watch that video to see that do you really need a 4K or full HD is enough for you. In that video, you can decide, make your decision. So some people think they need 4K and they upgrade their projector, full HD good projector with a lot less money. So you have a lot of options in the second-hand market. And if some people decided to sell their ultra short throw full HD projectors, then you got a really chance, because ultra short throw projectors quite brings a lot of contrast and brightness to the table because they are sitting very close, which I will create another video. So summarize, I believe this video gave you enough information about your choices, and I know it's quite long video, but I want to just talk to you like a one-on-one, what you should be doing and how you should be spending your money. Let me know if this video was helpful for you, and if you watch this video until now, thumbs up and subscription will be helpful, and your comments will also increase the channel's popularity. But not just that, will direct the channel, because this is a hobby channel for me. I'm shooting a lot of the videos after my long day work and my family time. It's quite late. It's around later 12 o'clock late at night. So I believe it's to see the worth of my efforts by your comments and your supports. And thank you for joining this video. Hope to see you in the next one. Let me know what you want to learn in the next coming up videos and the products that you want to see. And if possible, I will purchase and test. And if companies sponsor the videos, I will also try my best to test the products they've sent me. And my opinions are always my own. And if you want recommendations for projections, it's difficult to recommend for every kind of setup, but when I find time, I try to answer the questions. And if you want a one-on-one kind of like a live setup, maybe we can do that later on in the channel. But it's also about the subscription and the watching, how many people watches. It's going to be probably depending on that. But maybe it could be arrangeable to questions and answers together as a community. I want to try to create a community here that people who enjoy movies, where the directors intended to create for in their visions like a big screen, because I believe as a cinema educated person and camera operator over 15 years, and I dream my shots on the big screen. I don't dream in a TV. So that's what it's intended for, I suppose. Hope to see you in the next video in home cinema and tech review. Let me know what you think under the comment section below. And don't forget my review videos or any kind of videos. I talk like this so you can put it on a 1.5x speed and you still can understand me. Maybe even 2x. Who knows? Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.